Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Naked Truth. I'm Trisha Hershberger, and thank you guys again for all of your awesome vlog ideas from last week. Also, thank you for your constructive criticism. I always appreciate it. I know someone said that the videos are a little bit blurry when you watch them in 1080p, so I'm saving my pennies, and maybe I'll be able to get some new equipment soon to fix that problem. And for today's episode, I wanted to talk about moving to Los Angeles and pretty much wherever you move, but moving away from home for the first time. And that's thanks to Michael Ledoux, who said that he's going to graduate from school soon, or he just graduated, and he wants to move to Los Angeles from Connecticut. So that's a big gap, like me. I moved from Pennsylvania to Los Angeles, and it was definitely an interesting experience. For me, I graduated college and got my theater degree. And kind of stayed in Philadelphia for a while because that was the closest big city, and I knew I wanted to do the acting thing, and I knew eventually I'd have to choose New York or LA, and I went out to visit Los Angeles, and after like 6 hours of being there, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm moving here, because it was just awesome. I mean, who doesn't want palm trees and warm weather every day? It felt like vacation, and I was like, all I have to do to live here forever is get a job. Awesome, I'm totally in. So what I did is I went back to Philadelphia and put 2 weeks notice in at my day job, and it also just happened to be right around tax return time. So I had a savings account that I was saving for life stuff anyway, and I probably had about $1,000 in that. And then for my tax return that year, I got about another $1,000 back. So I know a lot of people put off moving out of their parents' house because they're like, well, I'm just going to save up more money. But sometimes I think it's important to just go for it. So I did. I had $2,000 to my name and a really old Honda Civic, and I took everything that I owned and I threw it in a car. And at that time, MapQuest was just starting to be a thing, so I actually went to my parents had a AAA membership, so I went to AAA and had them print me out one of those like triptychs books, but now I would just say MapQuest it. And I started a 40-hour drive across the country. Not completely by myself, though. I went on eBay, had a site called roommates.com, and luckily I found another girl who was also moving from Pennsylvania to Los Angeles and was going to do the whole thing by herself and drive out there. So we agreed to follow each other out there. So that, like, God forbid one of us broke down, because we both had really old cars. If one of us broke down, we'd be able to help each other out. And so we got walkie-talkies for the places where there were no reception, and it was an adventure, for sure. But moving out of your parents' place in general is hard. Like, for me, yes, I was driving for 5 days, and it was really scary because I was going someplace where I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have a job lined up. I just knew I was going. But my sister made me this mixtape of like songs that were all about, you know, finding your path in life and that kind of stuff. And I cried. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yes, it was the bravest thing I ever did, but don't think for a second that I didn't have second thoughts. You know, I didn't want to leave my family and all my friends, and I thought, you know, you go through this, like, what if anything happens to the people that I love? What if I'm making a horrible mistake? And the good news is, you know, in most scenarios, you can go back if it doesn't work out. But I was gung-ho to make it work. And so I got to LA and crashed on a friend of a friend's couch. This wasn't even someone I knew that well. And right away was able to find a really crappy job doing like a calling service where I was calling and trying to sell people extended auto warranties. And that sucked because everyone hangs up on you or curses you out and then hangs up on you, and you're like, I'm so sorry, it's not my business. I'm trying the best I can, okay. But I got a job right away doing that, and I used the savings that I didn't spend driving across the country to get an apartment. And I found a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment and just put an ad on Craigslist for roommates. And the first 3 girls that responded that had the money were my new roommates. So it was an adventure, and that first year was definitely a lot of learning about myself. And I think that's the really good thing about moving out of your parents' house is you're forced to grow up really fast. You're forced to get your act together, and you have to maybe put aside bills that, like, you know, maybe you had, I don't know, unlimited text messages before or something like that, and now that you're paying your own bills, you don't have that anymore. But it's scary to be far away, but overall I think it's an important step. So I guess the question I have for you guys is what's the bravest thing that you've done up until this point in your life? It can be something that you feel is really big or something really small. And also I want to thank everybody for last week sharing the nice things that they did for their friends or for their family on Valentine's Day. There were a lot of random acts of kindness, and it just really brought a smile to my face. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, you can always check out last week's episode, The Naked Truth on Love. And a lot of people shared some really heartwarming stories, so you can check that out. Don't forget to like this video and tune in this weekend. I'm gonna have a really special video. I've got a new poster coming out, and I decided to do a little BTS of the photo shoot. So there's gonna be a really fun video coming out sometime this weekend that you need to check out on this channel. All right, thank you guys so very much. Keep the vlog ideas coming, keep the constructive criticism coming, and tell me what you did that was brave, because I wanna hear all about it. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Naked Truth.